Well, thank you, everyone, for joining the session. As Clive mentioned, I'm Lawrence. I'm the CEO of eCargo Holdings Limited. We are listed on the Australian Stock Exchange since 2014. And really, as Clive mentioned, our purpose is really to help brands expand into Asia, whether that's online or offline. So without further ado, let me switch on the slides. Disclaimer, won't go through it, just for everyone's reference. But simply put, our mission at eCargo is really to help brands sell more. And what that means is really we have a suite of solutions that we offer to brands and retailers to really accelerate their sales online and launch into new markets. All this is supported by technologies that we've been building within our company to really digitalize the supply chain across whether it's from logistics all the way to distribution and trading. How we do this is, if you look at it in terms of what we call full commerce enabling services, it's really a full end-to-end service. So on one end, it's really the logistics and warehousing, whether that is setting up warehousing, operating it for fulfillment for online orders, or for B2B orders, or looking at where retailers and brands need to expand into international markets and need to look at freight services. We support that on that one end. Custom clearance is part of the services that we provide. As well as e-commerce development, which is on the other end, where if you're a brand or retailer is looking to set up their online platforms, that's where we provide support, whether that's on Salesforce Commerce Cloud, BigCommerce, Shopify, and more. We'll touch a little bit on the brands that we've been supporting, but we also work with brands and retailers to support them with channel management services. So that's helping them actually operate their online stores once it's set up, providing customer service, providing design, expertise, marketing, support, and all. Now, with the acquisition of Metcash back in 2018, which is their export business, we also developed a distribution network that will really help brands from Australia that can expand into new markets like China, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Malaysia, both online and offline. As of today, we're working with over 120 distribution partners, and we offer over 4,000 point of sale locations in Asia for brands to expand into. So that's from a small, medium enterprise brand to a large brand, whether in the industries and in food, health, beauty, we provide services to support them. eCargo on its own really runs on three major franchises. In Australia, we operate under a business banner called Amblique, which is it's the business that we acquired 100% back in 2014 when we listed. Since then, we've launched over 55 brands, over 100 different currencies on different platforms globally. For these brands, these include the likes of Michael Hill, Lorna Jane, Barbecue Galore, Fisher and Paykel, etc. Obviously, with COVID, with the user experience shifting from offline to online purchases, in 2020, we see that all the brands that we've supported launching into market have generated over 725 million Australian dollars in sales, just purely in the Australian market. On the middle, ECG, which is really a consolidation of Metcash export business, as I mentioned, and our previous eCargo China business is combined into a franchise called ECG. And really, it's supporting distribution and trading across online and offline in Asia. Now, specifically, I mentioned markets like China, Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia for brands that really want to enter into those markets. Since then, we've launched over 45 brands, and we've built up a distribution network of over 4,000 point of sale locations. And the idea is really to allow brands easy access into new markets without having a heavy investment, and it can generate a quicker return. On the third part is really our proprietary SaaS platform that we've been building since 2014, which is called eCoreOS. It started as an order management system, really to help brands get visibility across online platforms that they trade on, and now has developed over 20 different marketplaces across Asia that really allow a brand or retailer that traded across multiple countries, multiple platforms to have visibility on where their sales are and how they can generate further sales and orders across these platforms. We've also created a set of APIs that really allow integration from any ERP system that brands or other companies really want access to, and to get visibility around data to help them process more information around their e-commerce sales. Lastly is a B2B trading platform, which we just launched, and I'll touch on a little bit. It's really allow B2B trading enablement across Asia. Now, a little stats for eCarOS as the first half of 2021, we processed over 1 million orders. These are all online orders across Asia. Now, this excludes Australia as markets. So what is our business model? Simply put, across those three different franchises, I divide those into what I call growth business and what I call foundational business. If looking at foundational business, revenue structure is very simple. Distribution trading is really taking a distribution right of brands, and we basically, whether it's on exclusivity basis or on a trading basis, we buy wholesale and then we sell to our distribution network, and we make the margin in between. Supply chain services, basically generating revenue across different supply chain solutions, whether that's freight, warehousing, or fulfillment. And an e-commerce enablement, which is that includes setting up e-commerce platforms on a project fee basis, and then a sales commission on sales generated online subsequently, providing the operational services, providing marketing services on top. Now, our focus going forward for eCargo's business is really to return back into our technology roots, and that's really more emphasis around eCarOS as a platform and providing more services that we can create across the value chain. Basically, our focus for going forward is really our technology-enabled service, really wrapped around eCarOS, and that's really to help drive efficiency, scale for brands that really want to enter into different markets a lot quicker. I will touch on our performance in 2020. Our revenues, sorry, these are in Hong Kong dollars, but the idea is our revenue for 2020 increased by 23%. This is on the back of COVID, where I mentioned before, user experience have shifted more online, and we see that across the board in Asia. That really contributed to our revenue. Our operating expenses we've been doing very tight control since 2019, so our operating expenses have been falling, whether that's from a staff side, impairments to running our general operating side. Revenue movements, really the major contributions that we've seen is really coming from our distribution and trading business, have contributed a majority of our revenue in terms of increase. So we continue driving, we'll be continuing to driving within that business aspect. And then we also achieved our first EBITDA profit last year of about 1.2 million Australian dollars as due to the shift in our business and a more aggressive cost control. Going forward, we'll continue to drive towards that in that trajectory by trying to improve our margins more significantly. So where are we going to go now going forward? Really, the first focus for a business is really to shift into capturing more opportunities around the B2B trading. We find that ourselves as a trader, as a business, we understand how difficult it is to trade internationally, especially in Asia, whether that's in China or Southeast Asia. And that comes across whether it's managing international freight, that manages payment, vetting of buyers, handling order management and actually local deliveries, and getting visibility and transparency of where actually the products are being sold, so that you're actually getting price control and actually marketing your brand a lot more successfully in those new markets. So the idea is we launched a platform called JJX in the mid of this year around May. And the idea is to become a one-stop B2B trading platform. Now, the market that we launched first is in China, given that our offline retail footprint in China is more significant. We have over 3,000 offline retail stores that we have access to. And then basically we allow this platform for brands from Australia or from around the world that want to enter into these new markets. They can register an account, put their products on, and then be able to get access into the distribution network that we establish. Our distributors on the other end will be able to see what products are available, put in the order that they want, and then eCargo in between provides all the services. So whether that's payment handling, vetting, the freight and logistics, importation, that's where then we provide the services to support the brands from Australia or from other markets to enter into China. The second focus is still to drive e-commerce enablement. Given the shift from consumers to online now, we're seeing a lot more demand of retailers and brands that really want to improve their online shopping experiences, whether that is setting up their shops on marketplaces in China or Asia, or setting up their own dedicated platforms on Salesforce Commerce Cloud or BigCommerce. We continue to invest into resourcing, into building a team to support that. Now within eCargo, within all the different franchises, we have over 130 people across Sydney, Hong Kong, and China and Vietnam. That really supports our brand to set up their online business more successfully in trading and more successfully in these platforms. Again, go back to our technology route, eCarOS. We'll continue to invest into our technology side, and we're going to build across eCarOS to offer more services within the value chain. So that is whether it's from a logistic and fulfillment, and giving more visibility and helping our brands and retailers to digitalize their logistic solutions, to providing order and sales visibility across multiple platforms to continue driving that. And then lastly is really around consumer-facing technologies, using eCarOS to develop further platforms to really help, whether that's on JJX platform or set up a B2C platform for consumers to actually acquire from the brands that we're working with. So going forward, and this has been really our strategy, and this really summarizes what we've been trying to do this year and for going and next year, is number one, mentioned before, the B2B trading side, digitalization of those processes. B2B trading has always been very manual, very offline, very inefficient in a way, you would say. We're going to try to digitalize it across all different steps along the way with our B2B platform. Second is really improving our margins. As we go into more distribution and trading and really supporting our brand partners to trade online and offline, we really want to drive further margins that we can create out of the product categories. And that's really shifting to categories like beauty, cosmetics, health supplements. That's where we're going to drive a lot of revenue, margins across our business. Number third is regional expansion. As I mentioned, right now we're currently trading in China, Vietnam and Cambodia and Malaysia. We would like to expand into more Southeast Asian countries to really help Australian brands get into those markets a lot easier and to get a quicker pace. So that's where we will continue to expand. And then lastly is to develop more supply chain technologies. Given that the logistic industry right now, it's ripe for change and ripe for digitalization of it, giving more visibility around rates, making onboarding processes a lot more efficient, finding providers and those services a lot easier. This is where we will aim to continue to drive value for the business. So with that said, if there's any questions, please see the contacts here on the slide. We'll be welcome to answer any questions around our business at that point. Thank you.